deliver. Emmanuel, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. What school are you from? Oxford, great. Thank you for making it. The idea is to build the sustainability, ESG, strategy, finance, AI, etc. community. Thank you so much for making it. Welcome. Oh, great. They do a lot. We have a mix of senior leaders and upcoming leaders like you guys, basically. The idea is to connect both and build bridges, share knowledge, insights through speaker events, through these types of informal drink receptions. Emmanuel, nice to meet you. Please join. Emmanuel, welcome. Thank you.
Which departments are you guys?
We will have some part-time jobs. Hi, nice to meet you.
We also want to get something.
So the agenda is networking from 6 to 7. At 7 there will be a 10-minute introduction of Things Growth, who we are as a company, what we do.
I was supposed to go, but then I failed.
This serving at UCL.
Yes,
Yeah, chemistry is not PhD. Okay, my name is Özgür Tuncay from Turkey. I study my master's degree at LSE, studying development.
Hi, my name is Naomi Panofka. I'm currently a master's student at LSE studying international political economy. I'm here because I'm interested in think growth, and I'm also interested in the broad industry of ESG.
Hi, I'm Tomiwo Wosaja. I'm a fourth year biomedical engineering student, and I'm here to meet some people and find more about the industry.
Okay, this is Hafiz Zubair from Pakistan. So I am currently pursuing my MSc in Development Management from LSE. And before that, I was working for the Central Bank of Pakistan as debt capital market analyst. And I'm here to make new friends and meet with new people. And this is an amazing networking session I am having right now.
Hi there, I'm James. I'm here with supporting my wife who's interested in ESG, but also work in insurance, and I'm interested in the ESG aspects of an insurance company.
I'm Oliver Harper. I studied at UCL last year, engineering. I'm currently a researcher in climate impact strategy for UCL. I'm here to network and find like-minded people.
I'm Jackie Cho, and I'm currently studying history, politics, and economics at UCL. I came here because I'm interested in technology and new venture creation, and I'm really looking forward to engage with everyone in this fellowship.
My name's Howard Davis. I'm here this evening supporting Emmanuel. I represent Fluid Technologies Environmental Limited. We're a company based in southwest London dealing in carbon capture, energy recovery and pollution control, working with large corporations around the globe to support them in their environmental and technical requirements. And I'm here talking to some very nice people, and we're cross-fertilizing, if you don't mind the expression.
Hi, my name's Radha Wab. I'm a recent master's graduate from UCL in Archaeology and Heritage of Asia, and I'm over here to make connections, meet new people, and learn more about sustainability, ESG, and
Hi, I'm Veronica Vogt. I'm a master's student at UCL in environmental modeling, and I'm enjoying meeting everyone here and learning about what they're doing. So,
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who made it today. we're really glad that despite everything that you could have been busy doing, you prefer to join this event. So according to the agenda that we set for this, from 6 to 7-ish, networking. From 7 to 7:10, a brief introduction of what we do, who we are, etc. Then I'll hand it over to some of the more senior leaders or senior professionals among us who, if they like, would share a bit about what they do, their organizations, just to inspire everyone. That's the idea, right? We've been talking for an hour now, mingling and connecting. It's also nice to have that perspective. There's a few of them here and there's more coming. And some Q&A. And after that, we'll network, keep meeting, connecting, and building this community. This is the 4th year. The fellowship is organized and is growing. So first, I'm going to start with a brief introduction about who we are as an organization, a company, what we do, and then the fellowship. What is it about? What is it that we can do together? Without any further ado, so brief word, I'm Emmanuel, as you know. In terms of academic background, I studied both in France and in the UK. I'm an economist. Went to a few universities in France, studied economics, law, and political science. In the UK, I went to Cambridge. You can hear a French accent, despite I've been living in the UK for 11 years now. And prior to London, I was in Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and other parts of the Asian continent. I traveled and worked in other parts of the world too, but I'll keep it short for today. In terms of work experience, I've worked in 3 industries, as shared with some of you in the online induction a couple of days ago. First, in strategy consulting firms. Second, in technology services companies. And third, in startups and scale-ups, in addition to my entrepreneurial journey, starting a few companies. This is the third. Overall, I've been working for 17, 18 years now. Getting old, yeah. So in terms of the companies I've worked for, briefly, I started my career at L'Oreal in a marketing role. Then I joined Orange, the telecommunication company. Initially, it was a UK company which was acquired by France Telecom, and then it's a global telecom operator. I joined them in a strategy role. After that, briefly, I joined a strategy firm called Greenwich Consulting. At the time, later it was acquired by, it got acquired by EY, and it's now what's called EY Parthenon, the strategy part within EY. Then I started my first company. One sentence about it. It's, you see the digital billboards in the streets or highways, etc. That's what we were trying to do, but we're probably too young and too optimistic about what we could do. Then I joined Accenture in a sales and consulting role, leading fintech, to keep it short. After that, I joined Oracle in the second man, because then I had started Finsgrove for a short time, worked for them, and finally started Finsgrove to sort of fast track the story. Starting Finsgrove. So Finsgrove, what is it and what do we do? I'll keep it short because we've already talked about this on the call a couple of days ago, and I do want to leave time for questions and others to introduce themselves. Things Growth is a boutique, an advisory boutique. You can see it as a consulting boutique as well as an investment banking advisory boutique, given the work that we do: strategy, finance, operations, technology, products. The work we do in finance has to do with M&A, advisory, as well as capital raising. And in terms of the verticals that we cover, sustainability, ESG, AI, to name a few. These are the trending topics, right? I think pretty much everyone here has interest in sustainability, ESG, and AI. This is why we're here. And in terms of how many we are in the firm and how is all of this organized, I'll share with you. We are a small firm, growing fast. Everyone who we've hired recently was hired from this fellowship. This is the 4th year, as shared with you. People started with us as fellows. Many joined us as interns. There's quite a few who joined us as employees as well. Some are still with us, and others moved on to work with some of the world's most reputable and respected companies in the world, which means that what we do is recognized and acknowledged by the largest industry players. Last week I was given, basically I can share the story. I was called by Deutsche Bank to give reference to someone who worked with us. Someone worked with us and last year joined Mott MacDonald, which is a massive engineering company in the UK and in the world. Christopher joined S&P Global recently. So we have a lot of success stories, and we're growing internally as well. Please join, please come in. So that's about Things Growth, who we are. The fellowship is run by myself and Ankita, who's not with us today because she's doing something important. I cannot disclose too much. It's client work, and we have a deadline basically. So she's working on that. We'll meet with her on other occasions. So the last part will focus on the fellowship. Right? What is this fellowship about? So, like I said, it started 4 years ago. It's a fellowship that brings together students from academic institutions with a solid reputation, a solid global reputation, I would say. Oxford, Cambridge, the LSE, UCL, and we'll keep growing. Another important point is how long. Basically, you join, for some it would be a lifetime membership. For others, when you'll be tired of receiving emails from us and invitation to these events we organize, just let us know, and we'll respect your privacy. In terms of the content, what is this about? It's about, number one, these networking drinks. Tom, who's behind the camera, has been with us for a year. Himself is from UCL. He's an architect, or an aspiring architect.
And engineering as well.
Indeed. And he's been with us for nearly a year now. Before doing it here, this is the first time we're organizing this here. He was at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And that's one format, right, of event. Networking drinks for everyone to connect and to meet. The idea is to bring you guys together from various academic institutions and background and walks of life to inspire one another. Second type of events, speaker events, where we convene senior leaders in large industries, financial services, technology, energy, transport, healthcare, etc. sometimes fireside chats, other times discussion panels. So these are either in the form of, there are two formats. One is a breakfast briefing session, and the other one is a lunch reception. And finally, we organize an annual event. The ambition is, it's already happened a number of times. The very first one was at Cambridge when I was studying there. It was a great success. Obviously, when you set the bar that high, the first year you have to keep going, right? So we rely on you to sort of keep this momentum. Annual summit, and finally, something we bring in from now is the entrepreneurial dimension to this, meaning that there would be teams, right, like sectors, who would work on projects that we could take further. We'll organize this together, but this is more a stream for people with a more entrepreneurial drive than the corporate one. Regarding corporate, the idea of the fellowship is also to expose you to the work we do with clients, with you joining us as interns, right, and supporting the client work we do, and whenever this is relevant as employees. Let me make it very clear here. Whatever work you do or you will do is paid. This is not something we're organizing to have free labor. No. That never happened, and it will never happen. Everyone is paid for the work they do. There are contracts that we sign, work contracts, employment contracts, internship contracts that you sign, and you paid. I'll finish and say that we're growing organically, we're flexible, and I think that's pretty much it. Probably the rest, if there's anything that I haven't covered, can be addressed through questions. But before we get to questions, I'll hand it over to some of us here. Maybe let's start with Howard, if you like. So a brief introduction before each speaker. Howard is a friend. Now I can say that, despite we met recently. I probably won't disclose where we met because it's, why not? Otherwise people might think.
Don't tell them it was at the Dungeon Club.
No, basically, Howard is on the board of a polo club. And I've been interested in polo for a few years now, and have been attending a few polo events, and got a chance to attend one organized by his club, Ham Polo Club. He will tell more about the club, why not, if some of you are into this. And that's how we met. And he's getting me into polo now.
Getting you into trouble.
Playing. He's getting me in trouble. Please, Howard.
Yeah, well, it was a great pleasure to meet you, Emmanuel. Thank you for that build-up at Ham Polo Club, which is the last London club. Before the Second World War, there were 13 allegedly, and they included the Ranelagh Club and the Roehampton Club and the very famous Hurlingham Club that's still there. But on the hallowed Polo Club lawns, they now play croquet, which is, that's a terrible thing. They've gone down in the world. But Ham Polo Club at Richmond is the last remaining polo club in London, and the Roehampton Trophy and the Hurlingham Trophy are both played for at Ham Polo Club. So you're all very, very welcome to come along to the club. And perhaps Emmanuel can say.
We can organise an event, actually.
Why not? Let's do it. A great thought, and you'd be more than welcome. We have a lovely. So we have two grounds with a clubhouse. It's a special clubhouse setting right between Richmond Park, Ham House, which is a beautiful house. On the other side of the Thames River, which is right alongside us, you've got Marble Hill House. So the views from the top deck are stunning, and you've got two grounds either side. It's a great place to come and have a party, to watch the polo, and we have Friday night parties. So beyond telling them about the fact that I was the chairman at Ham Polo Club for the last 6, nearly 7 years, up till last year, and I'm still on the board as the past chairman, and have been involved in the club for a quarter of a century, maybe more. in my other life, my real life, where I actually make money, I run an environmental company, and that is because it's one of the reasons is I studied chemical engineering many years ago, graduating in 1982, not at the prestigious Cambridge University, somewhere far better, and you'll laugh, Loughborough University, where I graduated, and everybody said to me, you're the last person we'd imagine would be still doing chemical engineering when we have our occasional reunions. And I say to them, that's because none of you know how to make money out of chemical engineering, whereas I do. And that is because we've stuck with building up technologies to get out into carbon capture, energy recovery, pollution control, and it's a very slow burn market. And right now, and for many decades now, we've been working with some of the biggest corporate monsters in the world, behemoths as the Americans call them. And what a pleasure it is. And we work all across the globe, mining companies, pulp and paper companies, oil and gas companies, you name it. They're all part of the people we work with. So we're an SME, but we punch above our weight. And one of the things you were talking about is starting small and scaling up. And in carbon capture at the moment, we're on 3 projects and possibly going to go to a 4th project, and they're all about scaling up, including our technology in that, and that's a proving stage. And what's really exciting about things, and it's the same across all areas of business, whether you take one product or one area of a process or whatever it is, and you want to scale up to the next stage, that actually is a dangerous step, but it's also a thrilling and challenging step. And in the case of the carbon capture plants, we're looking at 100-fold scale-ups. There might be a step in the middle of 20-fold, but that's a big step. So we're starting in the low millions, moving to the tens of millions, and then, boy, it's going to spring up to the hundreds of millions and into the billions. And one of the ways we've found that we can make that sort of thing happen, and we've done it now and again. If you looked at our relatively small but turnover pattern and profit pattern, you'll see that we go through periods, bumpy road, up and down. And that's because when you do projects where it scales up and it's successful, the next thing is you're back to looking for new projects. The carbon capture projects are pretty huge, so we don't expect to be building those plants. We will license out, and already are licensing out that technology, and that's our business model. We take the knowledge, the know-how, and we keep it tight, and that's why it's slow burn. We don't overtrade, we try not to, and we've built up links with people all around the world, and they'll be putting in the carbon capture plants, and they'll be doing what a very famous case many years ago in Turkey. I don't know if you've heard of this, you're probably all too young to know the story of Mr. 10%. Mr. 10% was a Turkish fellow, and the British Petroleum Company, that wasn't called British Petroleum at the time, it was a different name, Imperial Petroleum, whatever it was, back in the 20s, said, can we drill on your land? And he said, you can have the land, never mind drill on it, but I want 10%. And he became the wealthiest man in the 1920s, 1930s, 40s, possibly in the world. And so that is our business plan. You don't have to do everything. You don't need to do vertical integration. That was a mistake of the communist people. Everything. It's a true story. Look up what the communists did. I remember going to Czech Republic years ago, and they said that the people who brewed the beer also made the barrels, had the horses stabled, they did everything, built the roads to get the beer delivered, ran the pubs, and the whole thing is that they just ran out of money because there was something.
What advice would you have? Like, what would you suggest they do, and how would you say your journey was?
Well, in some ways it was easy for me because I visualized being old. Because I knew that if I pick a career course where I'm a guru peaking in my 20s, anybody can do it. If I'm a guru in my 50s and 60s and 70s, that's a long, slow burn, and getting in and competing with me and businesses like us, very difficult and difficult to acquire the knowledge, the know-how, the contacts, and prove your technology. So you've got to be prepared for the long haul. Unless you want, if you want market stall trading and make money overnight, that's a different thing. You can do that in a lot of areas. But if you're like me and you say, I don't care about overnight success, I'm building this up, you've got to have dedication, There's a guy on Bloomberg who keeps saying an ex-baseball or basketball player, I think he's a baseball player, the cojones to stick with that. And it has to be your dream. It's no good you getting into business, in my opinion, my humble opinion, if it's not something you love. If it's something you don't love, it's all about the money. And most of these entrepreneurs you mentioned, the Musks and all the rest of it, he doesn't do it for money. I know he's struggling a bit at the moment, but that'll turn. He's doing it because he loves the skyrockets, he loves achieving impossible things, and that takes a lot of time. He's a stunning chap.
Sorry,
I bored you.
No, it's amazing. It's really interesting hearing about everything. It's super valuable for
it's his gig. Have a long plan and visualize yourself with success when you're older, and don't be put off that it takes a long time to get there.
They'll be coming to you for business advice for sure.
I don't know about that.
I think
when they see our balance sheet, they might change their mind.
Yay.
Great. Oh, thank you so much for sharing this with us. Now to Alexandra.
Yeah, I'm going to keep mine so short.
Yeah.
I think because I feel like everyone needs the opportunity to network and mingle and yeah.
Indeed. So please introduce yourself and.
I'm Alexandra. I run a brand and design studio. Before setting up my business, I kind of went to the Glasgow School of Art, graduated in graphic design, and then now do graphic design. I've worked with international design studios, including Jonathan Barnbrook. So they did the album cover artwork for David Bowie's Black Star album. So very different from the kind of finance and legal and M&A world, but really interesting in terms of working with institutions like the V&A and everything. And then so I've been working with lots of businesses and bodies that operate for and within the financial and legal industries for 8 years. But most recently, I've set up a new business called Wellcrafted, and Wellcrafted is really kind of innovative in that it attracts craftspeople to go and deliver craft workshops together with companies like Meta and Zendesk. So really improving team morale, employability, and well-being. Because as you know, I'm sure a lot of your courses are online and not in person, but when you have that in-person bond, it's amazing. And it's just been so amazing to kind of chat with a lot of you in the room before Emmanuel began, because I can see there's a lot of bright minds, and I can tell that you're all going to go very far. Like everyone who I spoke to is just like, I wish I was at your level while I had graduated. So in a way you have nothing to worry about, but yeah, that's me. I'm Alexandra.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. And questions, please. Please come in. It's one of our guests. So questions for both Alexandra and Howard, myself as well. When asking your question, kindly introduce yourself. First name, affiliation, corporate or academic, or both. And ask your question. Let's be succinct. So we get there. So first question. Yep, please. Sorry? Say again.
It's a question for Holly.
For Howard.
The only thing I say is, even speaking to other women and people in the room, everyone, because you're so young, you have to speak up. Get used to it.
Indeed, yeah. So who's the question for? Holly? Alexandra? Oh, sorry.
You got a shout.
It's all right.
Just pretend no one can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
I was asking, as someone who's young and did not do a design-centered course, but is interested in something like graphic design.
Yeah.
A lot of the low-level jobs already look for people with these skills in, let's say, for example, something like Blender.
Yeah.
Do you recommend going out there and just learning stuff yourself and being like a dog and just doing it all before looking for any sort of job? Or should you go and look for places where they are willing to cultivate learning programs or?
I think that in an ideal world you could go out and wait for places to cultivate learning programs, but it's not going to happen. So the best, I'm sure you'll agree, kind of experience is in the real world, and that's only you're only going to get that by kind of seeking internships, seeking real world experiences. With that being said, there's an amazing course called Shillington. So if you do want to move into the creative industries, I feel like the future of education is maybe those short courses, and they teach you the technical skill. I did 4 years and I came out with no technical skill, and then had to learn, and it was chaotic and embarrassing. But I made it, and I think you can too with there's YouTube.
Thank you so much for your question.
Hi, I'm Alice, UCL. So I was wondering how you take, when everyone's got a degree nowadays, how do you take your degree and turn it into a business opportunity? Or separate yourself out from everyone else who has exactly the same qualifications as you?
Maybe you both would answer that. Howard first and then Alexandra.
Yeah, I think you've got to have a curious mind, number one. So the degree, it should be aligned with your interests. If it isn't, you're going to probably have to start again, which is fine. It doesn't matter, but it's a bit of a shame to spend 4 or 5 years doing something that you don't use later. So you've got to have a curious mind. You've got to look at the market and say where are the gaps, and then you've got to say, can I make any impact on that? And what happens is, if you're thinking about it, funnily enough, things come into view where you do get opportunities to do it, and then it's at that point you have to seize it. Carpe diem. Because if something comes up where you say, wow, that's a great opportunity, great idea, okay, there are 100 reasons I'm not going to do it, just do it, find a way to do it. And that's the only way you're going to be an entrepreneur, because you've got to take the risk and move forward on it.
Indeed. Alexandra, please.
Yeah, to echo Howard, experiment, test, do it. Yeah.
Just do it. Brilliant. Thank you. A few more questions, please. Come forward.
Hi everyone, my name is Radha. So I've completed my master's from UCL in Archaeology and Heritage of Asia, and I want to get into heritage consulting and more in under environmental consulting. But one major thing which I see is the gap between the skills which need to be applied on the job and the things which I've been taught in my degree. There's just such a huge gap at times. So how would you suggest going about it? Because you do want work opportunities, but a lot of times the bar is so high. I'm pretty sure a lot of recent graduates would be going through the same problem with me, is that you just don't know how to bridge the gap.
You've got to, sorry Alexander, you've got to pick if you can, if it's available, pick a sandwich course, so that and they used to call them thick sandwiches, so we did 2 years at university, 1 year in industry, and the final year back at university for the finals. And that third year was absolutely brilliant. I'd spent it on an oil refinery. I learned so much. And the people running in the process development department used to laugh at the students. There were 3 of us there, and say, you guys come from university, you know nothing. But actually what happened was, another 3 months down the line, we were now incorporating what we'd learned at university and making it real. The universities are not good for giving you real world stuff. So if you can do that, or then go and do something after university where you can get the experience that isn't necessarily being paid.
By the way, I'm running 2 businesses right now, so if anyone wants an internship with Wellcrafted.
Indeed, that's the purpose of this.
But I would want to compensate you for short term.
Indeed. So, connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Alexandra Lunn, Lunn.
Yes, correct. And ask Emmanuel, I have to dash, but you can share.
Indeed. So if you need Alexandra's LinkedIn link, please ask me and I'll provide. And other questions, please? Yes, please come forward.
Sorry, hi, my name's Fiona. I'm a guest here at UCL in industry. I wanted to ask Harold specifically, because you were talking about a sandwich year and spending a year in industry and how beneficial that was to you. Did you find any mentorships in the process of getting into your industry as an entrepreneur that you found particularly helpful?
Mentorships. Mm-hmm. Well, the people when I went to Burma Oil in 1980 through 81, the people I worked with in that department, process development department, sitting overlooking this amazing oil refinery surrounded by Stanley. It was like Space Central or something, and all these things stick up in the air. there was a guy who sat nearby me who was an older chap, who was a mechanical engineer, and he was brilliant. He spent so much time telling me what to do, not just the work I was doing, how I should be, dating girls and stuff. But you need to find somebody, and in that environment, there will always be somebody who will take an interest in you and support you. So you've got to find it. And if you've already done your degree, for instance, it's a bit tricky because you can't go back and do that sandwich. But let me just also tell you, that year I think it cost me £3,800 or maybe £4,000 to rent the place where I was living in beautiful Ellesmere Port, centre of the known universe, and I was being paid £3,600, and they wouldn't pay a penny more, and they grumbled about it. You have to take a loss on that year, so you can do it after your degree and go and find a way to maybe wash dishes in the evening, whatever floats your boat. But you've got to get that experience, and in doing it, you'll meet the people who will help you.
So I'm guessing it's all just perseverance.
You've got to do it, because it's just do it, because you won't find a mentor unless you're doing something you love doing, and in doing it you'll always meet a great person.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. There's another entrepreneur who's joined us, my friend Dany. Please, Dany, come.
Hi, everyone.
My friend Dany, who's a tech entrepreneur, among other things. I'll let him introduce himself, and obviously, if you have questions for him, please.
Hi everyone, I'm late as always, but glad I made it. I've been working in the startup scene for about 12 years now. Was working for different incubators and accelerators. That's how I started off. Then I was running my own startup for a few years, and for about the last 5 years I've been doing advisory, which means I help startups launch, I help with their go-to-market strategy, I help with fundraising, and also in the later stages when it comes to M&A and buyouts, how to strategize that and finding the right company to take over. So yeah, a lot of my focus is very early stage companies, helping them build a product, go from 0 to 1, finding their customers, knowing how to grow, knowing how to scale. And then in the second stage is looking more at Series A companies and how can you optimize the business and how can you get it to grow efficiently and work towards being profitable. So yeah, that's my focus, and pretty much work with all startups across industries. Usually the founders I work with, they have their domain expertise, so they know the industry quite well, and I come in with a blueprint of how to set up and launch the business. So yeah, I've worked in many different businesses. I'd say most of my focus has been on SaaS products, fintech, and e-com. So yeah, happy to chat with anyone who's interested in building a business, launching their own startup, or general tech.
Thank you so much. I'll share Dany's LinkedIn profile with you guys if some of you want to connect, to find out more about what he does, the company. They have a beautiful website.
Yeah.
Please check it out. It's Mavericks Founders.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I'm following.
That's
right?
good. That's good. Yeah.
Mavericks Founders. They have a beautiful website, very informative, and a lot of insights. 2 last questions, because the venue will have other guests as well. So, yeah. Oh, please.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What about spin-outs and spin-offs? Do you do that from more established companies who've got something that is good, but they can't really nurture it?
Yeah, I think that's something I've recently been put in contact with, or been faced with. Is there's startups that have gotten to a stage where they have a really good product or they have a very good USP, but there's just not a healthy business, and then they're looking for a big brother to take them on. So I'm actually working on one case right now, but I'd say it's similar to fundraising in the sense that you're looking for a strategic partner who can invest in the long-term vision. So yeah, that's something that's new on my plate, but I've been looking at as well.
Good. We should talk.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Another question for Dany. Yes, please come forward and take the stage.
Hi, Hi, my name is Naomi and I'm a master's student in international political economy at LSE. I was wondering, for people who don't have a tech background, obviously the tech sector is still very promising, like what roles you would suggest applying for. So I've heard of like product management type things, but how else you can kind of differentiate yourself with like a business background?
I think the first thing would be is get as familiar as you can with the actual tech. You don't need to be a developer or have a tech background, but you need to know what's going on. And then, yeah, I'd say look at what skill set is missing in the team. So product is a good skill set. Sales is actually very important, sales and marketing. So you have a lot of technical people who are really focused on building a good product, but they don't know how to go to market. So that's a lot of what I do, is actually the commercial side of the business. So know what your strengths are, know what other people are good at or not good at, and then try and complement them.
That makes sense, thank you.
Indeed. And I did mention earlier that this year is the 4th year that we run in the fellowship. This year we're opening an entrepreneurship track for those interested in exploring ideas, etc. So if Dany has a little bit of time for us, we could explore things. Obviously.
Hi, my name is Youngin Lee, and I recently completed environmental policy at UCL, and I'm here to find sustainability jobs such as carbon market or environmental policy research. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anjal Abbas. I'm from LSE studying health and development. I'm here for a networking thing in order to get to know more about people working in the sustainability sector and more in the health sector. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amber. I just finished my master's degree of landscape architecture in UCL, and I came here today to connect with people because I'm job hunting right now, so I'm here for some opportunities.
Hi, I'm Solel, and I was studying in landscape architecture in UCL for last year. I come here today just because I read about the description in UCL's career site. So I'm coming here to get more networking with others.
And this comes along and we get
Hi, my name is Viren Halili. I'm a first year history student at UCL, and we're here at the fellowship networking event. Truthfully, I'm a +1 here, but I've been very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the company here and the amount of stuff I've been able to learn. Everyone's been super friendly, everyone's incredibly involved in whatever their field is, everyone's passionate and very interested, and so it's been an incredible time.
Hi, I'm Pranav Agarwal. I recently completed my Master's in Economics from LSE. My experience has primarily been research focused, but of late I think I want to shift out of academia and change my industry into management consulting and any positions that give me exposure to leadership. I think this platform is a great way of interacting with people who have industry experience and learning from them. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
I'm Dany, Tchalaby. I've been working in the startup world for about last 10 years. I help startups go to market, I help them with their growth strategy and fundraising, part of Mavericks. And yeah, curious to meet new people who want to launch their business and talk to anyone who's interested in tech and launching their own company.
So my name is Mukul Mohanty. I'm a senior partner with Truffle Capital. We're a life sciences fund based out of Paris. We've been around for about 25 years. We are a different beast. We fundamentally acquire technology, make that technology into a product into a business, and subsequently either strategically exit that business or do an IPO. We've been spectacularly successful. We've raised about 1.1 billion. We've had 11 IPOs and 30 different exits. Some of our best performing companies include Abivax, which is the biggest French biotech listing on NASDAQ. And we're based out of Paris, but we have 4 different offices across Nice, Lyon, Marseille, and Nice, Lyon, Marseille. I think that's and Paris, obviously. So I am a sell-side specialist. I've been in the investment business for about 25 years. 13 of them in the corporate finance space, which was the early part of my career, but for the last 14 years on the sell side, raised multiple funds across Germany and across Europe, and exited those funds subsequently. And now I'm part of Truffle Capital, which is quite exciting because it allows me to invest in life sciences, which is something that's critical need to all of what we are. I'm here because I'm a friend of Emmanuel's, known Emmanuel for a while, lovely person, and yeah, that's a bit about myself.